Ladies and gents, so in the last 30 days of my agency, we've done a little over $110,000. And in this video, I'm going to show you why I'm not happy with those results at all. This is going to be one of my most raw, organic, just pure videos that I've made in a while. And what I want to do with this video is I posted a story on my Instagram and I asked you guys to ask me any questions at all, no limits, no gatekeeping about OFM. You guys came through, asked shit tons of questions. And so I want to get into all of those and answer your guys' questions. I think this is going to be one of my most value-packed videos. Maybe not as in-depth, but I can almost guarantee if you're an agency owner not making above $30,000 to $40,000 per month right now, this video will help you get over a couple of hurdles and also just answer questions that you're probably struggling with because these guys are as well. So let's get first into that, but really quickly, before we do, I want to pull up my results on Loom really quickly. So let me start this recording. So as you can see, in the last 90 days of this creator right here, we've done a little over $264,000 in net and over $330,000 in gross. So we've generated her in the last 90 days, a little over $250,000. Now, if we go to 30 days, it's down insanely. We're at $60,000 per month. I know some of you guys are like, what, Griffin, what are you talking about? Those are good results. They are. They're good results, but not for this creator. This creator really should be at 100K a month minimum. And the reason why she's not at the moment is one, partly to do with her. She's having trouble delivering on content and also just the amount of content that she's delivering. If you guys don't know, this creator is purely off of ads, paid ads, and with also organic marketing mixed with it. We ran our ad strategy with this creator, and within the first month that she did, if we go back to custom over here, her first month ever was in July, and from July till, let's do 1 month. So this is going to be the 18th of August. So in the first month, we did $163,000 and $204,000 gross. So that's the first month of her OnlyFans going live. So the ad promo did cook. So you can see that this creator, even with organic marketing, she has less than 30,000 followers across those two accounts that she has, and she's generating this sort of money. So I'm sure you guys have some questions of how I generated this with less than 30,000 followers. Probably gonna ask how I did it and also the strategy. So how is one, we ran the GFE experience, but on another level than you guys are used to. A lot of you guys promote GFE as this aesthetic, this kind of content. It's really not that. If you're going to run GFE experience successfully and also make it worth your time, you have to look into the chatting and the content. For instance, I can't obviously because of terms of service on YouTube get into that, but we only ran sequences and scripts and then also some PPV content, but very minimal. And what I mean by that is we will sell Instagram story style of content for $30, $40, sell another thing that can go on Instagram for $30, $40, and eventually after they spend minimum 400, get into the actual raw stuff, if you guys know what I mean. So with that, you have to be very diligent in your content. Like our creators, they will not sell anything that is explicit if the person has not spent minimum $200 to get that. And that's not lifetime. That's in that one session. What that means is we're able to make our content have perceived value. And we do this through the way that we handle objections. We also do this through packaging. There's a bunch of different ways to make this content actually sell. Because a lot of you guys, your models couldn't sell an explicit piece of content for over $100. That just means that your value of that content has gone down. Whether you're showing explicit content on X, whether you're doing it overly on Instagram, whatever it is, we like to keep our models extremely personalized. It just feels like it's that creator, the model herself, and the fan. There's nothing in between. A lot of you guys on Instagram and OnlyFans, you'll try and create this huge professional aspect, which honestly doesn't work. Like on the profile of our creator, man, we will post gym pictures, selfies, nothing explicit at all. Literally almost like she's just doing some Snapchat stories. And that allows us to sell her explicit content for way more perceived value whilst doing things to make it more valuable, like packaging and also the way that we handle our objections. So let's get into these questions, but obviously, as you can see, the fans reach are down. In the first month, we did around 1,900 fans. Now it's sitting at 30 days. We did 900, way down. Obviously, I do know if you spike earnings from the launch of an OF, you're going to generate more money. However, I'd like to stay stagnant at 100 because she did reach $200,000 a month in her next month. And so I'd like to definitely be stagnant at 100. But if we have to set her out at like 75K, I'm also okay with that because we do have some other creators doing a little bit more numbers. Let's get into the exact questions that you guys had for me before we do anything else. I'm going to end the Loom recording right there. So yeah, let's get into exactly what you guys want to hear. So like I said, I asked on my Instagram story. I have a list of questions lined up right here for you guys, and let's just get into them. So first question is, bro, how do you actually get models to trust me even when I have no results yet? This is a question that I get a lot of the times, and my simple answer to you guys, you have to pick a path. And what that means is you can either fake it till you make it, you can either do favors, or you can look for network and paid opportunities. So let's discuss those really quickly. With the fake it till you make it, obviously everyone knows in this industry, there's gurus that fake it, there's agencies that fake results. It's something common. It's not something that I recommend necessarily, because if you're faking making 100K a month and then you sign a client, she's going to want those same sort of results. And if you can't actually produce that, then I wouldn't fake it. If you do know what you're talking about and you do have some experience in marketing and handling chats and everything, sure, go for fake highlights, fake results, send that over. But if you want models to trust you, it starts with you. And what I mean by that is it starts with your first DM. It starts with how you handle your sales call. It starts with all of that. And so if I was somebody with no results, no prior experience getting into OFM, one, I'd probably would fake results, have them on my highlights, have them on my Instagram story, but I wouldn't be something that I shove in the model's face. It'd just be something that was there to prove my authority, right? From there, once I'm handling sales calls and DMs and client acquisition, I would be very, very relaxed, because the people that act super professional, you have to meet that professional aspect. Like, oh, we will not work with create. Like if you're being just CEO kind of dickhead, you have to match that energy with the results that you create. However, I like to frame it as just a chill guy, works on his laptop, knows how to market, and generates these girls hundreds of thousands of dollars. That way, you're way more of a friend, and you're also somebody in her circle that she trusts. The second that you get a model to trust you, that's when results and all that stuff isn't needed. Work on your rapport building with these girls, starting with the DMs. For instance, if you were to send a voice message, I wouldn't be like, hey, I'd love to get on a call. I'm not free today. It'd be about 10 minutes. We'd like to discuss this, this, and this with you. And if your funnels make sense for us, then we can continue. I wouldn't kind of frame it like that. I'd frame it as like, hey Marissa, yeah, so I know that you've been looking to grow your OF a little bit. We obviously can see what we can offer, see if we can make something make sense. My one rule is that we don't make any bad deals, so I only want to do it if it makes sense for both you and me. So if you wanted to hop on a call, discuss details, let me know when you're free, and yeah, we can do that for sure. Basic, chill, real light energy, nothing something that you're pushing to get a sale, a sign, anything like that. The more relaxed you are, the more confident you seem, giving you more trust and coercion between you and the model. Second question, what should I even say on a sales call with a model? I always fumble it. With sales calls, like I said, going back to rapport building and being chill, that's probably going to be your best bet. The three pillars that I like to break it down into is rapport and establish a relationship. The second one, you're going to have some options. You can either do a favor, you can create status, or you can create authority, or you can undiscover pain points. You kind of want to, if you have sales techniques, you can all do them both. So kind of interchangeable. I'll talk on that in a minute. And the third is CTA. What that means is in the first 3 to 5 minutes of that call, you're strictly focused on building rapport. Where are you from? Do you like it out there? Oh, I've been there. Do you go to XYZ club? Have you been to the beach over here? Talking about rapport, talking about stuff that's not having to do with business. People who are nervous, they're going to want to go straight to the point. They're going to want to, how much are you earning? What can we do? What are you doing wrong? And they just feel like it's this huge task that they have to do even on the call. The way to fix that is by being relaxed, starting the conversation off, not too hard, not too driven into what you want, more so how can we make this relationship work between the two of us? Moving into the second aspect is after you've built that rapport, you've established that relationship with the model, your biggest goal from there is to position yourself as somewhat of an authority. That can be done in one simple line. Let's say you build rapport, you're moving forward, and she says, oh, I'm doing $20,000 a month and I have XYZ amount of fans. You can be like, wow. So that's definitely something that we look to improve if we were to work together, just because in all of my creators, we're doing a little bit over XYZ and we have the same amount of sub rate that you're currently using. So I think that's definitely something that we could jump in with the chattings and handle 100%. That's not something that we doubt at all. Just saying a line that either what she has could be better, or giving her a personal example of something that you've done in the past, that creates authority, that creates status. Now, the second part of the second pillar that you want to focus on is discovering her pain points and then positioning yourself as a fix. So what that means is, let's say you've talked to her about it, blah, 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 you're getting into the marketing. You want to undiscover, one, what is she lacking? What is hurting her struggles right now? So if she's not working with agencies, she might say, it feels like there's not enough time. I'm chatting constantly. The posts aren't doing well, blah, blah, blah. And then from there, I'd go into, yeah, so we would handle XYZ. We would, of course, post. Position yourself as a fix. But I will say, don't list your features, list the response feeling. And what that is, of course, she's gonna have no time posting, but what does she want that time for? That's what I would discover. When she says like, oh, I have no time to post, I feel like it's a job, they're not doing well, I would respond to that by saying, yeah, like, of course you don't have the time. Like, you're running a whole system by yourself, the marketing, the chatting, the blah, 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 XYZ. And then I would follow that up with, if you did have that time, just like, out of my own curiosity, what are you missing out on? Is it just feeling like too much of a hassle in general, or are you really wanting to put more time into something else? And she might give you something, she might not, but if she does, if she's like, man, I wish I had more time to travel or this, you can use that later down in the call by even creating it as a light joke. So if she's on the fence about signing, saying something like, hey, listen, once we get your content strategy in place, you're really gonna have a lot of time. We're only gonna need you for filming. And so from that point on, feel free to, do the traveling, go to that Bali trip you were talking about. That just creates, one, the fact that she knows that you're listening to her, and the second, that she sees you as the solution to get what she wants outside of just money and the typical things that she wants from OF. And then lastly, the third part of that is creating the CTA. Once you've built rapport, you've established your credibility, you've undiscovered her pain points, you've positioned yourself as the solution to get what she wants behind all the surface level stuff, then you want to go into your pitch. And the pitch is going to go something like this. To be completely honest, like I said at the beginning of the call, my one thing is just making good business deals and also being transparent. And I do see something that makes sense between the two of us. We could definitely help you out on that chatting, definitely get you some more time in the content, start that X marketing that you've been wanting to do. The process is pretty simple. It's a signed contract that over the terms that we just discovered. If you want to talk numbers, of course, I send that contract over and we get started immediately. Is this something that you want to get started with and lock in today? And then boom, handle objections, whatever it is. Model calls are pretty simple. My biggest, if I could wrap that up in 3 tips, be a friend, don't be a business owner, have confidence and know what you're talking about. And then lastly, just be very transparent about you only make deals when it makes sense for the both of you, because that way it makes sense in her head as well. By convincing her that you're an agency owner that only makes deals when they work out, just makes sense, sales psychology. Next question is, should I be chatting myself or just hire someone right away? Honest opinion is no. You should be chatting yourself for the first month at least to get in the income. I would say the benchmark you need to make money is around 5K, and then once you hit that 5K, you have allocated some money to put into VAs, 1 to 2 chatters. The biggest chatting operation that you need is a full chat management team, and so that's, you have a chat manager, you have 4 chatters, and that should be for every single model you have. That's the sort of structure you want, and I really wouldn't get into the chat managers and everything until I'm hitting 10K a month minimum. But at 5K, 3K, 4K a month, then you can implement a chatter or 2. But I'd always make sure that you know how to do the chatting before you hire someone else to do it. Are promo pages even worth it anymore? In 2025, to be completely honest, it depends on how you do it. If you're running promo pages from babes, models, 1, 2, 3 that have 2 million followers, pull 20K views, no, that promo isn't worth it. Now, the promo that is worth it is model to model promo, ad promotion, and then also niche selecting competitors. And what that third one is, because I've done plenty of videos over model to model and ad promos. The third one is competitor analysis. And so what that is you're going to go into all of your competitors inside of your niche. So let's say you have a ginger model, you want to go find all of the other ginger models and then go into their tag. Because a lot of the times, if they're using promo accounts and they're more established, they're your competitors, the promo accounts that they use will tag them in the videos so you can see exactly what promo accounts they're using to get their results, and then you can just DM those promo accounts. Yes and no, depends on how you do it, but if you're doing the basic shit, I wouldn't do promo, no. How do you actually grow your model's IG pages fast? I made a video on this actually. I'll pop it up right here. It's honestly probably one of the best videos that I have on just straight IG marketing. So go watch that if you haven't, but the essentialness of it is to start the page, post organically, and then once you hit around 100 followers, hit up some models, do model to model promo or just promotion in general, and then private the account, run all that traffic over to there, unprivate the account, post reels, and if it performs, you're good. You can stop there and keep doing organic. But if it doesn't perform, then you want to try out ad campaigns with like post, reels, things like that. But it kind of just works in a way of organic, promo, private, unprivate, organic, and if you need more promo. Next question, how do I find viral reel ideas that actually work for OF models? Competitor analysis and also creating yourself an algorithm. On each one of our phones that we do posting and whatnot for models, we try to honestly keep it niche specific. So if we have 3 curvy models, we'll try and keep them on like 2 phones or 1 phone, but we'll have an algorithm that just gets fed curvy model niche videos. And so what that is you just have to like, interact, follow all of the accounts that are like her, and you can just do that on those exact accounts. So that way, when you go on Instagram and you start scrolling, you're gonna see curvy models and her exact niche, and then you can get video ideas from there because you know it's working. It's getting sent out in the algorithm that you're in. And then secondary to that is just looking at your competitors. So pulling up 5 to 6 competitors of yours and then making decisions on whether or not that you think their marketing aligns with yours is a great way to get video ideas. And then once you have video ideas, a couple of hacks for you guys is create a shared ideology with your model. And what that means is just with all of the content that you're making, make sure your models know what type of content they're making, what the message is supposed to be. Make them honestly look at the competitors that you're looking at so they know exactly what to produce, and you're not just sending them links, having them recreated, and you're gonna have to review and edit and tell them do it again over and over again. Or you could just share the exact strategy that you're wanting them to make so that they have an idea in their head. You can do that with algorithms or looking at your competitors. After that, do you pay your chatters hourly or percentage? Always both. You always want to pay your chatters hourly and percentage. The industry standard, just across board from what I've seen, is $2 to $5 an hour and 1 to 5% commission. I try to cap out at 5% commission. However, if you're running lower numbers, you can work up to like 10% commission, $2 an hour, like really low wage, but you're going to be paying more. I would also put an emphasis on mirroring those two prices. So let's say you get really low commission, you want to go high hourly. If you're giving low hourly, then you're wanting to go high commission. So the industry standard, what we do inside of our agency is $2 an hour at 4% commission. That kind of just creates a balance of both worlds. And you can also go watch tons of videos I have on chatting about paying, setting up, everything like that. Next, how do I keep my models from leaving after the first month? I love this question. I included this because I honestly do think a lot of you guys struggle with it. There's a couple of reasons. There's over promises, there's lack of results just in general, and then there's lack of communication. Those are the main reasons why I've seen models leave my own agency and then also other people's. What each of those looks like and how to fix it. Over promises, simple. Don't tell a model you're gonna make her 50K in 3 months if you don't think you actually can. That's simple enough said. Second of that is no results at all. If you don't know how to create results for models, I totally recommend keep learning, keep working on marketing, because let me put it in this sense. If you work with a model who is good looking, A tier, and I literally preach that you guys should only sign clients who aren't going to waste your time and are going to mirror your effort. And what that means is if you put 3 weeks into a strategy on a model, then she's going to put 3 weeks of results behind your back. And what that is just looks, consistency, effort on her end, things like that. And so if you're getting no results, take a look at yourself and take a look at your model. If you're doing everything correctly, your marketing, your chatting, everything you can possibly do, take a look at your model. Is she actually worth it? Does she actually pull results? Does she pull views? Is the content good? And if those are all no, drop her and move on, man. It's so much easier to spend 3-4 weeks signing one creator and looking for one specific creator than spending 3-4 weeks trying to make one creator work and then having to go back and end up in the same loop that everybody else does. Sign a good creator that will match your efforts, and I promise you it's going to be a lot easier. And then the third part of that is creating an established timeline before you even sign her. On the end of my sales calls, I make sure to say that, hey, listen, I know you already know this, but OF isn't really a get rich quick scheme. There's business besides this, there's strategies, there's something that we do have to do, and there's work that it needs to be done. We just ask for your understanding on the time. And then also if you have any questions, we will always make that promise to you that we'll answer it honestly and openly. And if they follow you up with like, okay, when do you think I could be hitting 20K per month? If you think genuinely you can get them 20K a month in 3 months, say that. We always make sure that timelines are very accurate because it creates trust. I wouldn't promise a model 100K a month if I didn't think she could make 100K a month. Just making that established, like, hey, this is going to take time, this is going to take effort, but once we get that mutual beneficiary from each other, then we're going to be generating money. And once that's established, you can pretty much just sign any creator and keep her with you. That was a good question. Next is, when should I start hiring? I only have one model right now. You shouldn't start hiring if you have one model. Listen, I only started splitting money with people when I was making above $75,000 a month. And that doesn't mean that you guys can't have partners, you can't split money with individuals. There's just a huge impact that you get when you have a partner or you're splitting commission with teams. It's not something you want to get wrapped up in. And what I mean by that is not that you can't have a partner, you can't have this. You just want to make sure that they're actually putting in that value. For instance, I had a guy who I was partnered with when I first ever started OFM, but I realized we were just splitting tasks that didn't need to be split. He was doing posting on this account, I was doing posting on that account, but in reality, one person could have been doing it pretty easily, and you're giving away money that you don't need. And so if you want to do it properly, I would say look for vertical growth on a creator to start, and then once you have that vertical growth, you get her to XYZ number that you want, then look for horizontal, and that's just staying consistent, slightly climbing. Once you're at the horizontal point is when you should start hiring. So once you've scaled this creator, you've got chatters, then Once you get another model, you can put in a content manager, you can put in a chat manager, you can put in those little bit bigger, more expensive hires once you start that horizontal growth and you're not chasing the vertical growth first. I think that's the best way to go about OFM. Last question. Is it even worth to start OFM in 2025? That comes with a lot of weight, to be honest with you guys. And my honest opinion, being transparent as possible, is yes and no. If you guys are getting into OFM to make 10K a month, live in your basement, not really do much work, then no. However, if you're willing to treat this like a real business, if you're willing to really work hard at it, if you have the setup, the confidence, the enthusiasm to get on this laptop every day, market, deal with these creators every day, then yes, it is worth. One, because we just had this huge wave of AI OFM, and a lot of guys said this was the end of OFM, AI OFM's taking over. I completely am on the other side of that. I think that the opening of AI OFM has created a lower barrier to entry to all of the guys who actually can speak to creators, who actually want to sign real creators and generate real money. So it creates just less guys who are the 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds off of a 2004 laptop and just trying to make money out of nothing, right? It opens the doors for us who actually want to get in, actually manage these creators and turn them into something bigger than just a Instagram account. And so my final advice for like starting OFM would be, one, make sure that you know how much work this takes and how much time it takes. You're going to be putting out fires. You're going to be struggling. It's not something that's going to be just a breeze in the wind. It is work. However, with the right systems and leverage, it's a lot easier than other business models. I will say that. I am completely in agreement that if you were to start drop shipping, freelance brand scaling, AI sales workflows, anything like that, that's going to be much more difficult as far as the actual labor and intensity of that compared to OFM. But OFM, if you do not have the leverage and these systems and the confidence of what you're doing, then it's not worth it. I would say to all the beginners out there who are chasing these black hat strategies, listening to all these internet YouTube gurus, no, it's not worth it to start if you're just going to stay in that loop. However, if you're looking for the real way to do it, the actual systems that you're going to be working with, then yes, by all means, shoot your shot at OFM. And if you're looking to get on the side of some guys who, generate real results, $250,000 for one creator, then what I can offer you is, if you are serious, you are dedicated, I will not be working with any beginners or the people who just want quick and easy money. If you're diligent, you're dedicated, and you actually do want to make this work, you can apply to work one-on-one with me. That link will be in the description. It'll take you to a video of mine. That'll take you to an application. I will say it's not something that is just for anyone and everyone. If you are not putting at least 6 to 8 hours inside of this business model, that's not something that I'm going to work with. I'm not one of these course sellers. Not anyone can get inside of my community. It is private. I work one-on-one with every single one of these guys, and it is limited. So if you're seeing this and the link still is down in the description, that means there's spots still available. However, I will say, if you are not looking to take this seriously, really get to the point you want to go, don't worry about it. But if you are, you can apply to work one-on-one with me. Other than that, boys, this has been how I've generated a little over $250,000 for one creator as a teenager in my office. That's really it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you like this style of video or not. Other than that, as always, it's been Griffin, and peace out.